Sargon subreddit was quarantined. Quarantined by the Reddit admins. Now, even though this happened a few days ago, I haven't seen anyone talk about it, and I didn't even know it happened until just now. So let's dive in and see exactly what this means. Because it's essentially like shadow banning or YouTube putting a video in restricted mode. If you go to enter the sub, you're brought to this wonderful screen. Are you sure you want to view this community? This community is quarantined. It's dedicated to shocking or highly offensive content. Are you certain you want to continue? And then even if you do enter, there's this bright yellow warning button. The safety cord you can pull at any time if you want to save yourself from the shockingly offensive content of YouTube hypocrisy, or NPC memes, or making fun of a furry UK police officer, or wanting to legalize cannabis. Oh, how shocking and offensive this all is! But what else happens if you're quarantined? On a platform as open and diverse as Reddit, not like they're doing everything they can to get rid of that diversity, there will sometimes be communities that, while not prohibited, average Redditors may nevertheless find highly offensive or upsetting. Yes, because even if something doesn't break the rules, we still have to put bubble wrap around all the possible rough edges of the world. In other cases, communities may be dedicated to promoting hoaxes, yes, we use that word, that warrant additional scrutiny, as there are some things that are either verifiable or falsifiable and not seriously up for debate. Example, the Holocaust did happen, and the number of people who died is well documented. In these circumstances, Reddit administrators may apply a quarantine. So the admins at Reddit have classified Sargon sub in the same category as Holocaust deniers. Fantastic! The purpose of quarantining a community is to prevent its content from being accidentally viewed by those who do not knowingly wish to do so, or viewed without appropriate context. Yes, the fear that some innocent child could accidentally stumble upon Sargon's subreddit and begin posting NPC memes and advocating for Brexit. Oh, the humanity! Quarantine subreddits and their subscribers are still fully obliged to abide by Reddit's content policy and remain subject to enforcement measures. This is why this is BS. Either something violates the rules, or it doesn't. You can't create this secondary category like, well, you didn't really violate the rules, but we still don't like what you had to say, so we're just going to put you in this little box away from everyone else. Quarantine communities will display a warning that requires users to explicitly opt into viewing the content. They generate no revenue, do not appear in non-subscription-based feeds, and are not included in search or recommendations. Reddit may also enforce a number of additional product restrictions that exist currently or as they may develop in the future. So there you go. Sargon subreddit is Shadowbanned. They want to completely cut it off from the rest of the world and push it into the shadows to be isolated, even though they've done nothing wrong. Because we all know what the real reason for this quarantine is. It's because he's running for office, and all these hit pieces are being generated about him because of his Jesse Phillips tweets and the Patreon ban and all that nonsense. So then all the people that hate Sargon can go whining to the Reddit admins and send them these nonsense articles. Then using the fake news, the admins feel like they have some excuse to act. And that's the problem. People think these BS articles are proof of anything, even if the articles themselves contain no evidence. Simply having a random journalist for a random online publication write something, that in itself is taken as evidence by these people. And this is where the real fake news danger is. Look at Sargon's Wikipedia. Benjamin's YouTube channel first drew attention during the Gamergate controversy in 2014. According to Inside Higher Ed, his videos on the topic advanced a conspiracy theory in which he argued the members of the Digital Games Research Association were actively plotting to influence video game development. Right off the bat, a random online publication that gets less views per month than Sargon, accuses him of being a conspiracy theorist, as if it's gospel, as if it even means anything. And to call it a conspiracy theory is absurd. Digra is a think tank, and that's the entire point of all these, quote, non-profit think tanks. They write all these semi-academic papers which they send around to whoever they want to influence to try to get them to buy into their crappy ideas. That's literally the entire point of all these institutes. How is that a conspiracy theory? Digra is actively trying to influence video game development. That's the entire point of their existence. But no, some random publication somewhere says he's a conspiracy theorist, so, it can just get put on Wikipedia with no fact-checking whatsoever. Let's go down to the VidCon incident. A group of YouTubers who had frequently criticized Sarkeesian in the past, including Benjamin, filed one half of the first 3 rows of the audience and filmed Sarkeesian as part of a targeted harassment campaign against her. Really? Simply watching a person quietly at a speaking engagement is a form of targeted harassment. How fragile are these people? Let's look at these sources, okay, that apparently have the ability to mind read Carl Benjamin. Okay, we got Mike.com, The Daily Dot, Vulture, and a feminist media studies textbook called Drinking Male Tears. Yes, these are the valid sources we can trust for Wikipedia. And all these articles, they all make this claim with no evidence. Sargon and the others had gone to other panels at VidCon. They weren't harassing anyone. They just went to the panels and watched them. And that was it. There would have been nothing. There would have been no incident whatsoever if Anita hadn't been the one to insult him for simply sitting there and existing. But that's not even the worst of it. Let's go down. Let's go down a bit to this gem. The Daily Dot described the targets of Benjamin's criticism, such as feminism, Islam, Black Lives Matter, and the overall notion of straight white male privilege, as the same as those of the alt-right. What a nonsense statement. See, they can't just flat out call Sargon alt-right, so they have to say, well, he criticizes people that the alt-right also doesn't like, so that means something. Did you know that Nazis also drink water, breathe air, and wash their hands? How could you possibly engage in such behavior? A video by Benjamin titled An Honest Look at the Alt-Right, that although Benjamin criticizes the alt-right for collectivism and authoritarian thinking, although he argues they're reacting to a comparable amount of racism from the left. And lots of people join the alt-right and spread racist memes in a reaction to the racist social justice regressives, because racism begets more racism. But notice how they frame this as if they're trying to make Sargon some sort of alt-right sympathizer, when in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the alt-right's most hated YouTuber is Sargon. And he's one of the few people that actually debated against Richard Spencer. Newsweek has reported that he has links to the alt-right, and Salon has described him as an alt-right sympathizer. Whereas Business Insider has said that he opposes the alt-right, Benjamin has denied ties to the alt-right. So at least they put the part about Business Insider. But look at all this nonsense. If you look at the Newsweek article, it gives zero evidence for the claim. They just state it as if it's a fact. And the same thing in the Salon article. Sargon's crime? Oh, well, he defended PewDiePie. Thus, he's labeled as an alt-right sympathizer. It's just so disgusting. And the problem is, Sargon's busy. He's got his channel, he's running for MEP, and he's not some rich dude. He doesn't have the time or the money to sue these publications, and they know that, and that's how they get away with it. But you can see the links, how some random journalist makes a claim with no evidence, and it just spreads like an infection. Spreads to other articles, spreads to Wikipedia, spreads to Reddit, and on and on. You know, I wonder if Carl wins his MEP seat, will Reddit have to unquarantine his sub? Will Twitter have to unban him and give him a blue checkmark? Well, that will be fun. But the good news is, all these attacks have only made him stronger. As he said in our last live stream on Sunday, he just wanted to play video games, but they took that away from him, and he made a YouTube channel in response. And they took away his Patreon, and now he's running for MEP. Better be careful, boys. Otherwise, you're gonna meme Carl all the way to Prime Minister.